All right, there we go. Awesome. All right. So many of you, because you're here, I'm sure are familiar a little bit with the collaborative, but what I wanted to do was just kind of do a top level overview. So the Cleveland Legal Collaborative is the CMBA's social justice legal incubator designed to serve the justice gap. We'll talk about the justice gap here in a minute, but what the original design of the collaborative was to help serve the public that was caught in the justice gap, 200 to 400% of the poverty level. New and newer attorneys who are interested in practicing in this social justice space, public service space, but didn't really know how to go out on their own or if they should go out on their own, needed a little bit of support. And they're getting that support from our seasoned attorneys. So the Bar Association has over 4,500 members, ranging from they just started practicing this year to we have, 50-year honorees who have been practicing well over 50 years. So those attorneys who are interested in serving this justice gap and training the next generation of attorneys, that is what the collaborative is meant to do. And so, like I said, I was going to talk a little bit further about the justice gap. So this is becoming an older report, but it's still very relevant that 90% of low-income Americans received inadequate or no legal help with civil legal needs in 2021. Excuse me, I have allergies today. And so the justice gap, we all know, or many of us know, that legal aid serves 200% and below. So there are people who just make 201% of the poverty line, or somewhere in between that 400%. 400% and over is typically when we see that they can afford a market rate attorney, but it's that middle justice gap. And that's what we see here. Too much to qualify for legal aid, but too little to afford a market rate attorney. So we know that the average hourly rate for an attorney in Cleveland is about $250 an hour, and it goes up way from there. The other thing we want to note is that Legal Aid does a ton of work. They're actually one of the largest law firms in Cleveland. They have, I think, like 85 attorneys at this point. They do tremendous work, serve a huge need in Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, and honestly, Northeast Ohio at this point. They still have to turn away about 50% of income eligible individuals, either because they can't serve that population by regulation or they just don't have the resources. And you'll see why. In Cuyahoga County, I have a little bit of a highlight here. 200% of the poverty level is that group there. So an individual, it's just under $30,000, and for a family of four, it's $60,000. In Cleveland, and I don't know if you guys can't see that when I move this. These two numbers up at the top, 32% are below poverty. 60% of Cleveland is in the 200 to 400. So that turns out to be 92% of Cleveland falls into this collaborative demographic of people that we're trying to help. And that's what this says here. We also have a great partnership with Legal Aid and the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Excuse me. For Say Yes to Education, we provide access to legal resources along with legal aid to all CMSD kids and their families. And so that has been a partnership that's been going on for quite a few years now. Those referrals that come to the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association would also fall into this justice cap. Most of them in the school district are under 400%. And so again, displaying the need that we see here every day. The reason that the Bar Association got involved in this so early, we run a lawyer referral service. So attorneys pay to be a member of that service. They tell us what types of cases they want to take. And then we make those referrals when the public calls in. Our referral service has been around for decades now. So it's well established in the community. It's used by a lot of social service organizations. The courts refer people to this. We receive about 1,500 calls a month. From that, we're able to refer. Some don't have legal issues, so we don't refer them, but we're able to make about 500 referrals. But of that, only 10 cases are opened by the attorneys getting these referrals. And a lot of it is because we offer a free phone consultation. The attorney and the client talk, and the clients self-select out after they hear how much it's going to cost them to hire the attorney. So that brings us to the Cleveland Legal Collaborative. We are starting our second cohort here. Applications are open. That's why many of you are here today. Who can participate? We're looking for newer attorneys in their first 5 years of practice. However, we will make exceptions on a case-by-case basis for those who are committed to public interest and social justice and are looking for a little bit of a non-traditional practice. You do need to be admitted to the Ohio bar when the program starts. So for our purposes this time, for cohort number 2, we're going to start around January 8th. So those of you who took the July bar, when you get your good news in October and get sworn in, you'll be good to go in January. And we will take people on a conditional basis when you start to go through the application process. In fact, one of our fellows in the first cohort had this situation where he took the February bar, we waited on results. Once he got the good news, we were able to extend him an offer. So that is something that we do through the collaborative. Excuse me, I'm going to take a quick drink of water. And so what can you expect as a fellow through the Cleveland Legal Collaborative? You are opening your own practice. I want to make that clear from the outset. With our guidance, we do like a quick boot camp at the beginning of the cohort. We'll help you obtain malpractice insurance, open your IOLTAs, get your business set up, but you will be operating as a sole practitioner. We provide referrals through the lawyer referral service. We have office space, office supplies, all the things you could need. We offer a very robust curriculum. So again, all those members of the Bar Association, all 20 of our sections and different practice areas are just so excited to meet our new cohorts, meet our new fellows, and teach them what they know. So a lot of it is, where are the courthouses? Things they don't teach you in law school. Clerk's offices, how to file things, how to do simple representation, client intake, billing, all the things that law school doesn't really prepare us for. Every fellow is paired with a practice advisor. It's like a mentorship relationship. So it is a one-on-one relationship. We pair you. Typically, you guys are expected to meet monthly, check in. That's your person that if you have a question, need some guidance, they're there for you. And then also we pay you. Something we learned, we worked very closely with the Chicago Bar Foundation. They have a program called the Justice Entrepreneurs Project. It's been around for about 15 years. They have had varied success over the past years because their program, very similar to ours, setting up solo practices to serve the justice gap, they were having their fellows pay to be a part of it, and they saw participation wane because, as I'm sure many of you can imagine, starting a practice, coming out of law school, not having a book of business to start is scary and hard to do. And so we learned from Chicago and some of the other incubators throughout the country, and we now provide a $50,000 stipend in year 1 to our fellows. There is an option to apply for an additional $15,000 in year 2. So it's an 18-month program. So in those last 6 months, the goal is that you will have such a booming practice that you're not going to need it, but it's there just in case. And so the curriculum, that's what our fellows are going through right now. It's education heavy. And I would say the first 3 months pretty significantly, and then it starts to taper down. Generally, we're having lessons in the morning, doing more practical experience in the afternoon. We do have office space. Abby, I think, is sitting in that office space right now. So we have desks and everything ready for you to go. So as much as you can be here, it's yours to use. And like I said, the topics include opening your practice, billing, marketing, and very practice area specific lessons. Like I said, the curriculum is taught by CMBA volunteers, and then also we do 200 CLEs a year. So many of the things that we're already doing make sense for our fellows to attend, especially important for this new cohort in January. We do New Lawyer Boot Camp in January, and so we're going to have you go through New Lawyer Boot Camp. We also are having our fellows start staffing the LRS call center. One huge benefit of this program is that client intake and client interaction is something that you will be immersed in. Like I said, 1,500 calls a month. We're getting, 50 to 75 phone calls a day. So assessing legal issues or not legal issues, dealing with the public and clients is something that you will do through our LRS call center. And then we will start to have open office hours. We find that people come to the Bar Association because they know we're an association of lawyers, hoping to find a lawyer. And unfortunately, there's a few of us here, but we don't really take walk-ins. So we think it would be a great public service to offer Friday office hours for people who may need brief advice. And so the application, this is housed on our website. I'm sure many of you found that already as you signed up for this program. Like I said at the outset, you do not need to be bar admitted to apply. You just have to be bar admitted by January when we start. So July was our first cohort. The second one will start in January. And then from there, it'll be every January going forward. You can expect 2 rounds of interviews. The first round is typically with CMBA staff. So we will review all the applications. You'll come meet with CMBA staff, and then the second round will be with our entire oversight committee. And that's a group of about 15. And so here's the timeline. The application is currently open right now. We'll be conducting interviews in October. September is the deadline for September. I think we have it in September 30th is the deadline for applications to be accepted. So we'll do interviews in October. And then once we know if everyone's passed the bar, everyone will get their acceptance and make the announcement. We'll do an onboarding and a social in December, and then we'll launch in January. So that was a lot of information and a lot of me talking. I think I saw Joe jump on too. Joe and Abby. Tyler's there too. Hi guys. So Joe Jaworski, Tyler Portner, and Abby O'Leary are our first 3 fellows in cohort 1 of the collaborative. I would love for you guys to just wave, say hi. And if you have any words of wisdom for our interested candidates. Joe, I'll start with you.
All right. Thank you very much, Carrie. It's great to be here. And it's pretty exciting to get the opportunity to speak with individuals who are interested in this program. Honestly, I came into this, I never thought that I'd start my own practice. So if you have a little bit of hesitation, I still suggest that you look into it. You can contact me or the other fellows because it is really, it's getting into something new, but something very challenging, but something that's your own. So I think it's just a great supportive program. So far, we've had some fantastic speakers. And like Carrie was talking about, the opportunity to go to the different court systems, to meet with the clerk staff, to meet all these individuals, and really meet all these members in the Cleveland legal community is something that I don't think you could probably find anywhere else. And even in an organization, if you just joined a company, you would probably still be somewhat limited in the courts you practice in, or with the people that you would interface with on a regular basis. So that's all I have to say for now, but thank you.
Thanks, Joe. How about Abby?
Yeah, hi, I'm Abby O'Leary, and I really want to echo what Carrie said about the client contact and client interactions that you get here. We're on the phone all the time, taking different referrals that we're getting from the lawyer referral service and really working on that issue spotting, seeing what problems people have, figuring out when we can help, how we can help, and also becoming a lot more familiar with legal resources that are out there to help us and to help clients, and even non-legal resources that we can, hear people out, hear what problems they have. Maybe we identify that it's not a legal problem, but we can send them to someone from another nonprofit social service organization who can help them out. So already, even with not taking clients, or when you're taking only a few clients at first, you're still able to get a lot of contact and, start doing a lot of good.
I like that.
That was all
a lot of good.
awesome and true. Yep. No, it's good. It's all awesome and true. The only thing I would add too is that because this is new, it's really exciting. And so it's exciting to be in the room and at the meetings and meeting the other attorneys in Cleveland. But the excitement is shared by the community because of the need and because of how new this is. And it represents Cleveland, I think. And so the encouragement is obvious. People are committed to this working out, and not only this CLC working out, but your personal practices. So it's pretty apparent. It's cool to be a part of something exciting and new, and to fill a need, obviously. So just all of those things stacked on top. I'm glad you're interested, because it's interesting.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
One
Go
more
ahead.
thing, we're excited to have more people with us. We're going to know a little bit more than you maybe when you get here, but we're excited to build more with whoever's coming next, because there's definitely enough work to go around.
That is for sure. And I would just love to echo that these three have been so fantastic, and they've already formed such a close bond. I mean, it's so fun to be down in the office triaging referrals that are coming in and cases that are coming in, and really being able to workshop it with everyone. There's an there's a reason we named it the collaborative. And so it's just been really exciting to see that. I will note we have 3 case graduates in our first cohort. So I don't know, Sarah and anyone else from CSU Law. We'd love to have, I'm a CSU Law alum. We'd love to have some CSU alums in the January cohort. It's just the way it worked out this year, or this first time around. So that's just something I'd love to throw out there. And thank you to Case for having such fantastic students who are interested in this. I want to open it for questions. You can ask very practical questions about the application, about the collaborative. You can ask me, you can ask the fellows. But this is your time, and why I made it a meeting was so people can jump off mute and ask any questions you may have.
Hi, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the office space, is it only for that first year, or can you get it afterwards, and do you have to rent the space?
Yeah, so we provide office space for the 18-month program. As CMBA members, I forgot to add that as a fellow, you also get to be a CMBA member. We currently have a member office and a few conference rooms that are free to members. And the intention is that for the full 18 months that you're able to access the office space through the collaborative.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Kayla?
I don't know if I missed this, but how many cohort members are you looking for at this this cohort? How many
Yeah.
are in the cohort?
You did not miss. In fact, I forgot to say that. So we invited 3 for July. We're going to invite another 3 for this January, and then we'll assess from there. So there will be 6 of you in that space starting in January. Any other questions? Oh, I saw one come in this chat. Give me 1 second. Is this a full-time position? I am interested in how this works with my current practice. So Jamie, I think that's a fantastic question for Tyler to take, because Tyler came into the collaborative with a little bit of a practice.
Sure. So I graduated into COVID. I had my my solo practice going for about 2 years, and this program, I will say, the first 2 months, you need to set realistic expectations with your current clients, because you will be very busy here with programming. But the idea of this program is not you're exclusively handling these matters. It is about your independent practice. So that's why they're having us meet these other attorneys in the space for relationships and referrals and things like that. So I think the goal is that you're able to have work in the background so that this is sustainable when the 18 months ends. That said, the LRS stuff that comes through, I suppose, is kind of front of mind, because these are the folks that you've already made a kind of stance that this is an important need, and these folks need served. So that is front of mind. But yeah, certainly the practice can exist in the background. And I guess what I would say is you're not disqualified from applying if you do have an active practice. There is a time commitment, but the idea would be that you could do both. That's how I've been doing it.
Yeah, the idea has always been that you're committing to serving this population, and there's a participation agreement that you would commit a large amount of your practice to serving this 200 to 400% of the poverty line. These are still fee generating clients. The idea is to do as much flat fee predictable pricing as possible for this population, but there is still also a sliding scale for hourly rates. So you are generating fees for the most part from these individuals, but we're teaching you how to market and build a book of business. So you are also marketing yourself and are able to bring in clients that are not collaborative referrals. We check in about once a month with everyone. We have some tracking devices that see, what types of cases you're taking and things like that. I think that we would have to have a conversation if it looks like everything's outside of the collaborative and you're just kind of running your own practice. We would have to talk, but there's no formal and strict rules on what to take and what not to take. Anything else?
I do have one question. My name is Arlisha Wilson. I surprisingly don't meet the newer attorney mark, which is like, wow. So I am wondering if you all have any opportunity for, more senior attorneys who may not need necessarily the programming upfront, but are prepared to take cases. So my firm is situated in the Justice Gap, if you will. And so that's why I joined the call, not necessarily realizing it was geared more toward newer attorneys, but just wanted to see if there's opportunity for those of us who are no longer new.
Yeah, Arlisha, you and I should talk.
Okay.
I will put my email in the chat, and I think that there is definitely a space for you in this. So I would love to have a conversation. Thank you, Dominica. She put my email in the chat.
Oh, perfect. All right. I'll send you a message. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And yeah, and obviously, yes, this was geared for the application process, but for those of you who are on here who are just interested in hearing about the collaborative, we're always looking for volunteers to help teach different areas of the practice, whether it be substantive, like how to draft a will, or how to market yourself, how to use social media. We're always looking for ways to get more volunteers involved. We're open for partnerships or suggestions. Again, this is new. And very exciting, and I love to hear about new opportunities to help bring the collaborative to different spaces in the area. Okay, well, I'm holding space to see if anyone else is going to come off mute or type anything in, but I promised a half hour, and darn it, I'm pretty close.
I do have a question.
Yes. Hi.
In terms of access, back to the office question again. Is there access to anything like Lexis or Westlaw? Or are we supposed to get that on our own?
Yeah, so you will get practice management software. We've been using Clio right now. And then the Bar Association for all members, Fastcase and VLEX are free to members to use. So that is the legal research tools you would have through the Bar Association.
Perfect, thank you.
Great. Well, any more specific questions, thoughts, comments, anything, please feel free to reach out. My email is in the chat, Carrie Burns at the Bar Association. I really look forward to seeing some of these names on applications as we go forward. And like I said, anything, please reach out. And thank you to our fellows today for jumping on. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.